hero in the Marvel Universe has a rogues gallery as famous, or infamous, as Spider-Man. While most heroes have one or two A-list villains that everyone knows, Spider-Man has a dozen. Big names like the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, Kingpin, and Mysterio have been associated with the wall crawler for over 50 years now. It may be surprising to some, but Spider-Man doesn't have exclusive rights to beating up someone in his rogues gallery. Some of these ne'er-do-wells have tangled with other heroes of the Marvel Universe. But which of Spidey's reckless rivals took on a second helping of hero? Let us know what villains took you by surprise, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to CBR and hit the notify button, and you can join our notification squad and feel your video senses tingling.
I know you're in there! Answer me! Hey, Mr. Sandman. Chill.
Sandman. After his latest defeat at the hands of Spider-Man, Sandman was put into prison with the Trapster. Together, the two escaped and met the Wizard, who convinced them to team up against the Fantastic Four. After recruiting the inhuman Medusa, they dubbed themselves the Frightful Four and attacked their heroic counterparts. The Fantastic Four barely survived the first two encounters and finally managed to capture them in their third battle. For a period of time, Sandman continued to appear as a member of the Frightful Four, but didn't always need their help to oppose Marvel's first family. Sandman has even gone one-on-one against the Hulk. Although he did about as well as you'd expect. Failing to beat him, Sandman teamed up with the Mandarin for another shot at the Hulk. When their attempt fell short, Mandarin betrayed Sandman by leaving him trapped inside a giant pressure cooker. When the Sandman stepped out, his body was composed of solid glass. Left defenseless, Hulk could have killed him, but Betty Ross convinced him to stand down, allowing Sandman to live to fight another day. For a period of time, Sandman was all over the place. He continued on as a member of the Frightful Four, and he has served as an antagonist to both Wonder Man and Nova. We hate sand. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
Hit 22, please. These don't work so good on the little buttons. Your name ain't Parker, is it?
Rhino. After a series of failed attempts to defeat Spider-Man, the Rhino received an upgrade to his artificial skin from the same scientists who first enhanced him. In exchange for this upgrade, they sent him on a mission to capture Bruce Banner for his knowledge of gamma radiation. After Banner's transformation into the Hulk, a showdown of epic proportions followed as the two slugged it out. Though the Hulk beat him into a coma, this was not the end for the Rhino. After being awakened by the leader, the Rhino returned to menace the Hulk on several occasions, making him one of the Hulk's greatest enemies. But isn't it crazy how you never think of him as a Hulk villain? A notable moment for the Rhino came in the Ends of the Earth storyline, when Rhino used an Asgardian artifact called the Horn of Jormungand to impale Thor. Not many villains can claim the distinction of taking down the God of Thunder. Though there are few heroes capable of matching Rhino physically, he has also battled the Thing, Captain America, Doctor Strange, the Punisher, and Deadpool. Quite a star-studded list.
Otto Octavius was weak. Call me Dr. Octopus!
Dr. Octopus. Completely synonymous with Spider-Man, and arguably the greatest Spider-Man villain of all time, Dr. Otto Octavius doesn't have the best track record against other heroes. Though he has managed to defeat the Punisher, he has been on the losing side in fights with DareDevil, the Hulk, Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, who simply turned off his robotic arms, Iron Man, a team-up of Dazzler and Angel, and a team-up of Hawkeye and Sandman. One of Doc Ock's finer moments came when he threatened Iron Man with a bomb that would destroy New York. Dr. Octopus believed that he was superior to Iron Man, and after trouncing him in combat, forced him to admit it. Something egomaniacs like Tony Stark never say. Satisfied, Dr. Octopus told Stark that there was never any bomb. The whole thing was a bluff. And Dr. Octopus wasn't done yet. He hatched a plan to finally spell the end of his web-slinging archenemy, but the plan was so complex that it involved more than just a clash with Spider-Man. The goal was to take control of Spider-Man's body, but this was a task his science alone could not achieve. He determined that one piece of the tech he needed belonged to Mr. Fantastic, and another belonged to Hank Pym. In a stroke of genius, Dr. Octopus managed to break into the Baxter Building and the Avengers Academy to steal the tech, effectively outsmarting two of the smartest men in the Marvel Universe.
We can't represent you.
Why is that?
Because we only handle clients who are innocent.
Kingpin. If there is anyone the Kingpin of crime hates more than Spider-Man, it's DareDevil. After having several of his schemes foiled by DareDevil, Kingpin finally learned of his secret identity through information sold to him by DareDevil's drug-addicted ex-girlfriend, Karen Page. Seeking to even the score, Kingpin used his knowledge to ruin DareDevil's personal life, resulting in the loss of DareDevil's license to practice law. Kingpin's feud with DareDevil has lasted for many years, and it's been argued that Daredevil, not Spider-Man, is Kingpin's greatest nemesis. This is illustrated by the fact that Kingpin was featured as the main villain in the first season of the Netflix TV series. You could make the same argument for Spider-Man, however, with the prominent role Kingpin played in the 90s animated series. Kingpin has also had frequent clashes with the Punisher, who tried to straight up murder him. The attempt on his life was thwarted by a team of Spider-Man, Cloak, and Dagger.
You don't deserve my help. Harry. She needs us.
Hobgoblin. This incarnation of the Hobgoblin utilizes all of the gear once used by the original, with the addition of an objectively awesome flaming sword and his own lunatic laugh. He started working for the Kingpin and was sent on a job to deal with Hercules, who had taken out one of Kingpin's gangs. Normally, the situation would seem impossible, but this happened at the same time when Hercules was without his strength. The Prince of Power was now relying on his hand-to-hand combat skills and an arsenal of magical weapons. Believing the fight to be winnable, Hobgoblin decided to boost his profile by filming the battle with hidden cameras, like Punk'd but with no Ashton. Hobgoblin used pumpkin bombs to bury Hercules beneath a pile of debris, but he freed himself and got back into the fight. It's crazy to see pumpkin bombs against another hero, since they're so iconically used against Spidey. Hobgoblin still has more tricks up his sleeve, but in the end, Hercules proved to be too much for Hobby to overcome. His plan has backfired in every possible way. Not only did he lose the fight, but the reputation boost he expected to gain from this went to Hercules instead. The only silver lining for the Hobgoblin was that Kingpin was able to talk Hercules out of turning him into the authorities. I bet Spider-Man got his hands on the footage from Hobgoblin's camera and watched it anytime he needs a laugh.
I'm alive in you, Harry. Now it's your turn. You swore to make Spider-Man pay. Now make him pay.
Norman Osborn. The Green Goblin will always be remembered best for the murder of Gwen Stacy, but since his resurrection, Norman Osborn has earned the hatred of many, making him not just an enemy of Spider-Man, but an enemy of many heroes. Arguably the most iconic bad guy Spider-Man has, Osborn's footprint on the Marvel Universe is widespread and ever-growing. As Osborn rose to prominence as a figure of authority, he became a thorn in the side of numerous characters, including the Avengers and X-Men. Even against powerful foes such as these, Osborn was good at getting what he wanted. He gained the reputation of a hero, adopted the identity of Iron Patriot after acquiring a suit of armor similar to Stark's. He had Charles Xavier and Beast locked in holding cells. He arranged the demise of the Punisher, created his own teams of Avengers and X-Men, arrested Luke Cage, had Hawkeye tortured, and organized what was nearly a successful invasion of Asgard. It took the combined forces of the Avengers to finally put a stop to Osborn and his army of supervillains. This is another story we definitely wouldn't mind seeing play out on the big screen, but we won't get our hopes up.
I reckon that came as a bit of a shocker, eh, Bug? Well, good. So will this.
The Shocker. While the Avengers were busy saving the universe from the Magus during the Infinity War, Dr. Octopus led a team of villains, including the Shocker, in an attack on Avengers Mansion, but were intercepted by the Guardians of the Galaxy, who at the time consisted of Charlie 27, Starhawk, Major Victory, Alita O'Gord, Nikki, and Talon. The two teams fought it out for a while until the arrival of a group of evil doppelgangers created by the Magus. Forced to team up, the heroes and villains destroyed the doppelgangers. Dr. Octopus ordered the team to attack the battle-weary Guardians, but in a rare showing of goodwill, the villains refused. Even the Shocker, a hardened criminal his entire life, would have no part in the attack on their allies. Don't take that the wrong way, though. Sparing the Guardians of the Galaxy was not a sign of things to come. Shocker continued on as a second-tier villain, losing again and again to Spider-Man until one day, the Shocker declared, "Don't mock the Shocker," and hit the Punisher with a blast that knocked him clean over the horizon, gaining the villain new respect from the criminal underworld.
Mysterio is the master of the arcane arts!
Well, seems to me Mysterio is the master of talking about himself in the third person.
Mysterio. Quentin Beck started his life as a special effects artist working in Hollywood, who was beginning to have his doubts about the future of his career. So, like any comic book character worried about his next paycheck, Beck turned to crime as Mysterio and became a frequent foe for Spider-Man, with his efforts to defeat the wall crawler always ending in failure. Beck's life went from bad to worse when he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Without much time to live, Mysterio wanted to go out in style, but unfortunately, Spider-Man was unavailable. As it often happens with superheroes, Spider-Man has been replaced by a clone, forcing Mysterio to find the next best thing, Daredevil. Mysterio put on a grand scheme as he caused the demise of Daredevil's love interest Karen Page and framed Daredevil's best friend Foggy Nelson for the horrible crime. His plan was so successful that he nearly beat Daredevil. However, Daredevil overcame his grief, uncovered Mysterio's plot, and defeated him.
I believe I'm owed an apology, Kravinoff.
Call me Kraven. Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter. Kraven is a skilled hunter from Russia who lives for the thrill of the hunt. So how could he resist when he discovered Zabu, the last living saber-toothed tiger? After traveling to the Savage Land, Kraven succeeded in capturing the animal and returning it to New York City. Hot on his trail was Khazar, Lord of the Jungle and loyal friend of Zabu. After a hard-fought battle, Khazar was able to drive him away. The two jungle warriors have faced off several times since. Much like other Spidey villains on this list, Kraven too has fought with Daredevil. In an effort to lure Daredevil into a fight, Kraven kidnapped his then-girlfriend Black Widow. After allowing her to escape, Kraven was put at a disadvantage and he had to fight the two of them at once. Yet despite the odds, he somehow won the battle and threw Daredevil off a cliff. Daredevil would have been killed for sure if he wasn't teleported to another world by Moondragon. Kraven's other prey include Beast and Tigra. Could you imagine a Beast solo movie where the Blackbird goes down over a frozen forest and Beast has to escape Kraven in Kraven's home turf? It could be awesome and allow Beast to be explored more on the big screen.
What's the matter, bro? Spider sense didn't tingle.
Venom. Venom is considered to be one of Spider-Man's most powerful foes. As dangerous as Venom is, you would expect him to have an easier time fighting someone with a lower profile. You certainly wouldn't expect Quasar, Wendell Vaughn, to capture him without throwing a single punch. All he had to do was throw an energy net on him before dragging him back to prison. Excuse me, Quasar, could you send Parker a few dozen of these nets? Later on, when Venom thought he had killed Spider-Man, he gloated about the victory to Spider-Man's friend Darkhawk, sending the hero into a frenzy. Venom had to play dead in order to get Darkhawk to leave. Venom has had some interesting time as a hero too, even being part of the Guardians of the Galaxy for a short time as Agent Venom. Other noteworthy adversaries of the Venom are the Hulk and Iron Man. We sure would love to see Venom in Infinity War, but with Spider-Man barely making it in, we doubt it. Hopefully we get a tease of the symbiote in the post-credits of Spider-Man Homecoming.
You think you're right? It makes you dangerous.
Guess you had a point.
A hero is only as good as their villains, and this is especially true of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Where would Spider-Man be without his rogues gallery? The truth is, the good guys need great bad guys. However, these villains don't seem to need Spidey. Did any of these villains surprise you? Are there any we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to CBR, and join the notification squad for more videos like this.